Doesn't matter. Here's the real important part.
Well, you asked the question.
I know. Here's the
gears.
here's the real important
Blake's
part.
the one that's all about the boat.
Now, how in the hell did you get the sumbitch back? Did you have to go? Did you drive it back?
Well, that's what in-laws are for.
Oh boy, yeah. So they brought
The trailer. They brought the trailer
to where you were.
Yes, but have you? I'm assuming you've heard of the Great Loop.
Nope.
Okay, so the Great Loop. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there are several boaters with really big boats.
Oh yeah.
Who chase the 70-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called the Great Loop. If you Google it, you can look it up. Actually, Google it right now.
Let me do it, babe. Let me get her.
I want to tell you exactly it'll show you the whole loop, but they go like all the way down to Florida, all the way up through.
The Great Loop is a continuous waterway that allows boaters to explore eastern North America. It goes from
Maryland,
Atlantic, Gulf, Intercoastal Waterways, the Great Lakes, Canadian Heritage Canals, the inland rivers of America's heartland. But it looks like it literally just goes from Florida all the way up the East Coast, jumps up, through maybe east of or west of Maine, comes back through the Great Lakes, and then hooks up at the bottom of Lake Michigan to the mighty Mississippi and just trucks her on all the way back down through Louisiana and then over.
Exactly.
Nutty.
So we met several people. That's really what they were doing. They're just part of the Great Loop. They've been boating for a year.
Whoa.
Years. They had like their electric bikes that they would take. And so each marina is very unique, and you can, each one's different. They have restaurants.
I was going to say, some of the food
town.
that you were posting
You can
were
literally just
really good.
Yes, and you can just live off your boat like we couldn't. We about did us in, but these people literally sell their houses or put their houses up for rent, and then they live off their boat for a year.
If you start in Chicago, continue south in a counterclockwise direction to take advantage of the river currents that run in the Mississippi River, which most of the people consider themselves loopers.
Yep.
They choose to exit at the Tennessee River to avoid heavy barge traffic on the larger waterway, and that path leads to the Tennessee, don't know how to say that word, waterway, which also flows to the Gulf. Regardless of the southern, man, that's nuts. There's kinds of different flower garden banks, national marina, sanctuary.
There are podcasts. Loopers have podcasts.
Holy shit, guys. Let's take it on the road.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Buddy, I love you to death, but I'm not going to be locked on a boat with you to do this great loop.
I mean, being stuck on a boat is just not my thing. I loved our week. It was awesome. Just going to the different marinas. There was one in Nashville, I remember, that like you could go up, you just put $1 in the kitty, pour yourself a Blue Moon, or they had different beers on tap.
Whoa.
And it was only for the people who were like docking their boats. They could go up and take advantage of it.
Whoa.
And
I bet
you
they'd
could
lose
Uber,
money the day ours
like,
showed up.
You could walk up to, there were so many, different restaurants. You just dock your boat, you walk up, have dinner, go back, and you can have shore power and just hook up and you're set. Like,
wow.
But a lot of people, and the boats, oh my God.
I could only imagine.
The boats just blew my mind. The boats that we saw, I cannot imagine living that lifestyle. Some of those boats were bigger than my house. Like, it was wild.
Well, it's kind of, you think about it, it's kind of like RVing, but on water. I mean, people buy these big RVs and they just cruise the United States. It's kind of the same theory.
Yeah, and they end up finding like their people along the way. They're all kind of form a network, and they hang out. They have Thanksgiving together. They do like, I don't know. We talked to several.
You got to have a little bit of that nomad lifestyle streak in you to do that.
Yeah, and you can't choose when you go. So a lot of the boaters we ran into, they were waiting for hurricane season. Like there was a hurricane coming through at the time. They're like, well, we got to wait for the hurricane to pass before we can make our way south. So they're kind of stuck at the marina. But and they're all really comfortable. There's good showers. There's laundry rooms. There's everything you would need, and you pay just kind of like a camping spot, like you would with an RV. You pay like maybe $10. If you don't want to anchor off somewhere on your own and you want to have that shore power and options to go into the marina, buy food.
Are there any pirates on this Great Loop?
That's a good question.
I'm the captain.
If
now.
there's not,
Oh goddamn!
Nothing's here.
CGI fireplace
Attaboy.
barking at us here.
Attaboy.
you know what? I bet there's pirates out there somewhere.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
American
I mean,
pirates.
I would think so. I would think so.
I didn't hear about them, but I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Dave has hit his limit right now.
I'm not my limit.
Dave's got to find another gear. Allison, let's talk about it. You're an author.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So,
How in the
Now
hell
we get to talk about it.
did you come up with enough stuff to write a book?
wow, I don't
mean,
know if that's
it's not a long book.
Oh,
pictures. Remember, she
It's a
said
real-
there's a lot of pictures.
yeah.
It's a really short children's book. There's 2 of them, though.
So that's what I was gonna say. So the first one is chasing deer, and the other one's chasing turkeys.
yes,
And so,
The
how long-
Chasing series.
the chase.
what's gonna be next?
Chasing. Honestly, I've been debating like bass fishing or ducks. Maybe Bella loves a good duck.
What about Chasing Mace? That's got a good ring to it.
Chasing squirrels.
That's not a very long book.
Chasing squirrels. You know, there.
If you ever need to like bounce things off,
I got to target an audience. Chasing Mace. What do you guys think? What should my next book be?
ducks.
Ducks.
Kids love ducks. 'Cause they
Either
can
that
say
or do something kids love, like zebras or
quacks.
giraffes.
They can say, well, that's a hunting book.
I know, that's exactly right. Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Man, we were talking about that today, hunting giraffes. That's a wild
Can you
deal.
imagine?
Couldn't do it.
Where do you aim? Like, is it for the?
It's kind of like the necktie thing, right?
Vitals. What's the necktie?
Like, do they wear it under their head or over
Gotta
their
be
shoulders?
vitals, but
I think, but when they hunt giraffes, don't they just like hunt like super old bulls that are on death's door?
Idea.
Is-
Yeah,
they call
I'm
them
sure.
bulls?
Isn't it
Yeah.
weird that we have giraffes, but
You
not
know what's
unicorns?
funny? So it's not funny, but I was talking to somebody about hunting elephants in Africa, and like that's one thing that you wouldn't think would be super dangerous, but a lot of hunters die
Mean mother trucker.
Trampled.
via elephant.
Yeah,
They do that stomp
hunting
thing.
them.
they move pretty quick.
You ever see
Oh,
those little Indian
terrifying.
dudes or Thai guys when they?
So actually, the idea came from Bass Pro Shops. I'm just gonna throw
Fuck.
them under
Oh,
the
there
bus.
you go.
So I had gone into Bass Pro. I wanted to buy a book for a baby shower because that's a thing. You know. Instead of a card, bring a book, whatever.
Yep.
Well, so as a family that like to hunt, I was like, I'm going to buy them a hunting book.